The first mistake people make when they get pulled over for a possible DWI is answering any questions from the officer. The first question that they usually answer that hurts them is, have you been drinking? Have you had anything to drink tonight? Do not answer that question. That is the first and most major mistake. Say, I invoke my right to remain silent. I cannot speak without an attorney. Once you say, yeah, I've had something to drink, or I had a couple of drinks, you're getting pulled out of the car, you're getting investigated, and you're probably getting arrested. The next mistake people make when they get pulled over for a DWI is agreeing to do the field sobriety tests. So nobody's going to pass those tests. All that ever happens is people give more evidence against themselves by trying to attempt those tests. So just say, officer, I respectfully refuse. The next mistake people make when they've been pulled over for a DWI is agreeing to the breath or blood test. Okay, so once you get arrested, then the officer is going to ask you to submit to a breath or blood test. Agreeing to take that test is always a mistake. Do not agree to take it. Say, I refuse. Yes, your license may be suspended, but if you take the test and you fail it, your license could be suspended too. And in either event, you have a right to a hearing regarding whether or not your license is suspended, which we can often win. So that's the next mistake in agreeing to the test. If you don't agree to the test, then the officer has to get a warrant. So keeping them from having to get a warrant is another mistake, because when they have to get a warrant, quite often the affidavit that they use to get the warrant is legally insufficient. If you consent to that test, then we're not going to be able to challenge the admissibility of that test, or at least not from a warrant standpoint. The next mistake people make is not demanding a hearing regarding the possible suspension of your license, because if you don't demand a hearing, then there is going to be a suspension, and you're forfeiting the opportunity to have your attorney cross-examine the arresting officer at a time when an officer's not been coached by the prosecutor and can be pinned down on issues that might allow your case to be won. The next mistake people make is in not hiring expert counsel. There's a lot of attorneys out there who will try to tell you they're good with DWI cases and try to take your money, but they don't ever go to trial, or they don't ever win if they do go to trial, because they don't intend to fight your case. They just intend to try to get you to convince you that, oh, you just need to take this deal. It's a good deal. It's deferred adjudication, so it's not a conviction, or it may be able to be sealed from your record, and it may not. Or, it's just probation. It's not a big deal, but it might be on your record for the rest of your life. So that's the next mistake people make in DWI cases. Another mistake people make after they've been detained for a DWI investigation is being disrespectful or being rude to the officer. You can politely say, I refuse to answer questions. You can politely say, I refuse to perform field sobriety tests, but you don't have to be rude about it, and you don't have to be disrespectful to the officer. You can comply with whatever the officer tells you to do, stepping out of the car, stepping over here, putting your hands behind your back, whatever those things are. But don't be disrespectful, don't be rude to the officer, don't get upset. And also, another mistake people make is after they've been detained is talking. Sometimes on the ride to the police department, people think, oh, I can talk to the officer, and make things better. And they usually end up saying things that incriminate them or make the police case against them stronger. Sometimes people say incriminating things that may be innocent, but they sound incriminating under the circumstances. Sometimes people, another mistake they make is falling asleep in the back of the police car, because then the police characterize that as passing out when actually you just decided to take a nap. Be sure not to make these serious mistakes after being detained for a DWI investigation. Hire the Medlin Law Firm for expert representation.